Welcome back, you guys. I'm NiniFC, this is Blue Line CV, and today I'm bringing back another news daily video. I'll be focusing on 3 stories today. They're going to be on the latest surrounding Bakayoko and a potential move to Paris Saint-Germain. I'll be speaking about Dries Mertens and direct contact made for the player, and to end things, I'll be speaking about this club and why they've been making us so proud during this coronavirus pandemic. So before I get into anything, you guys, remember, if you like today's video, smash that like button, help me get over 1,500 likes, and of course, today's video is brought to you by the One Football app. As I'm constantly stressing, this football season will come back. We don't know when that's going to be, but that doesn't mean that news and transfer news is at a standstill. If you want the latest news direct to your phone, so by the time you receive it, you can watch my videos, hear my thoughts and opinions, then download the One Football app. It's quick, it's convenient, and it's free. You'll find a link below in the description below. Now, I want to start with the first story today, and let's talk about these Dries Mertens reports. Now, reports are coming up from Italy suggesting that Frank Lampard has made direct contact with Dries Mertens. Now, this is quite promising, but this isn't the first time that this club has made direct contact with Dries. Back when Sarri was still our manager, he did the same thing with Dries, and of course, near the end of the January window at the start of this year, it was the same thing as well. Dries Mertens has had a lot of unofficial talks with this club over the past few years, so this really does not come as any surprise. Now, as I mentioned in the last News Daily video, contacts between Dries Mertens and Napoli have been at a standstill at this point in time. Now, obviously, this is due to the pandemic that's happening right now, and this is naturally affecting a lot of contractual talks between players and clubs. So it's only natural that when we have no football on show, clubs are still going to continue with unofficial talks with players and interested parties. Now, we aren't the only clubs interested in signing Dries on a free. It's come out that Roma are making a strong effort to sign the player. They're thinking to sell Bakayoko for a transfer fee because he's quite old, he's near the end of his deal, and now that Newcastle have untold billions at the club, it seems like they're linked with Bakayoko. Inter Milan and many other clubs are also interested in Dries, but if you're asking me, I personally feel like we would have the advantage when it comes to signing the player, and that's because we've been speaking to him consecutively over the past few years. We can offer Dries higher wages, we can offer Dries the Premier League as well, and we can also offer Dries the opportunity to possibly win trophies. I get the impression that the club really want to sign an experienced player for the attacking positions. Let me give you guys some backstory. It seems like Olivier Giroud is about to sign a new contract. Now, does this imply that he's going to be staying at the club for next season? Of course not. Giroud still has ambitions to represent France during the Euros, and now that the Euros has been pushed back to 2021, it wouldn't make any sense for Giroud to stay on at the club and jeopardize winning a spot with the French national team. We need to remember too that his contract was about to expire in the summer and he'd be made free and available, so it's only natural that he signs a new deal, so when he does eventually leave, at least we can generate a bit of profit from the player. So this could be a case of one experienced player leaving and another experienced player replacing him. Now, with recent reports suggesting that Aubameyang and Mertens are players that the club are looking at, maybe this is further strengthening this narrative that we do want one experienced player for the attacking positions. In that sense, Dries Mertens would be a much more economical player over Aubameyang, and I guess having an experienced player for our forward line does make a lot of sense, you guys. I don't think it's realistic to naturally expect your Pulisic, your Hudson-Odois, etc. to bang in 20 goals for next season. To get to that stage where players do reach those numbers, you need time and experience, and you need to constantly work hard at your game. We need to understand that with this current pandemic, it's going to force every single club to have to be more responsible in the market. They can't spend frivolously, and if we have ambitions of spending bigger money on younger, more, higher potential targets, then possibly a player in Dries Mertens could make a lot of sense. But anyway, you guys, in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. Would you like to see Dries, or does the recent report suggesting that Aubameyang has now become a target, well, is that too tantalizing to just forget? Now we move on to the second story, And we move on to more positive news, and this is in regards to Chelsea Football Club and their current stance during this coronavirus pandemic. I'm going to show you guys the club's official statement that they released yesterday. As you guys can see on screen, the club made a massive statement in regards to what they're going to be doing during these times. Now, as we can see here, great news for Chelsea employees. The club can confirm that they won't be taking advantage of any government screens to help subsidise staff wages. This means that Chelsea staff will be earning 100% of their wages, which is great news to hear. This extends to casual workers, hospitality workers, professional women players as well, and of course women academy programs as well. So it's great news to hear, because the reality is we're a club that has a ton of money, and it's great to know that we're doing our part during these tough times. Now, moving on to fans will be getting reimbursed up to the tune of £350 per ticket holder for any fans that obviously bought away ticket games for the Bayern Munich game. So this is going to help the 3,800 away supporters that obviously got tickets and accommodation for that game. Now we move on to what the Chelsea first team members are going to do. There was some controversy coming out over the past few days, and reports suggested that Chelsea players won't be obviously subsidising 10% of their wages to help out. And that's because that's a club decision. That's not because of the players. The club have decided that the players will still earn 100% of their wages, and it's down to the players to continue any charitable donations that they deem fit. Now, this is the club's current stance, and I'm sure things could change, and that's going to depend on how quickly the football season returns. And of course, to continue the feel-good vibes, the club are going to continue to allow NHS workers to use the Millennium Hotel for free accommodation, which is great to see. And the club's free meal program scheme is going to increase from 78,000 to 81,000. You know, NHS workers and people on the front line are really, risking their lives, trying to help out, working very long hours. I've got a friend that's actually working for the NHS, and he's been telling me just how difficult it is. So it's great to know that the club are doing their part. They are stepping up, and I think this reflects how this club's been since the turn of this decade, if you're asking me. When it comes to the fight against racism, we're one of the first clubs out there to really have a strong stance against racism and anti-Semitism. We constantly join charity programs as well, and our players are involved throughout these schemes as well. For me, when it comes to this whole 10% debacle, listen, football players have a lot of responsibilities. Just because they're earning their wages, it doesn't mean that they're not funding their families or families from other countries or giving to charities. They're constantly doing that every single time. And I'm sure that they'll be donating a lot more than the 10% that would have been subsidized from their wages in the first place. Let's not forget that during the end of March, the Chelsea squad made a sizable donation to the Chelsea Foundation to help fight against the coronavirus. On the 23rd of April, the club introduced a scheme to provide online learning courses for kids. Just recently, Chelsea players Loftus-Cheek and Carly Telford did join a virtual classroom, and they join a long list of Chelsea players that have contributed to this scheme as well. On top of that, there have been charity FIFA 20 tournaments, and a lot of Chelsea players have joined the Football United scheme as well. So for me, this most likely explains why the club aren't expecting players to subsidise any wages just yet. Possibly as time goes on, and if the football season is a lot further back than we expect, then I'm sure the club will expect the players to obviously do their part and help chip in as well. For me, this is what Chelsea spirit means. Everyone at this club is coming together and doing their part. And for me, these don't even feel like PR schemes, because we've consistently contributed towards good causes over the decades, and I think it's just systematic of just how good our ownership is right now. But anyway, you guys, on that point, we now move on to the final story for the day, and let's talk about Bakayoko and where his future may possibly lie for next season. Now, to end things with the final story for the day, let's talk about Bakayoko, because recent reports suggest that Paris Saint-Germain want to sign Bakayoko once the transfer window opens. Now, Le Sport were the ones to break this story, and does it seem far-fetched that Paris Saint-Germain would actually buy Bakayoko outright? Of course not. Now, we do know that Monaco already have an agreement in place to sign Bakayoko at the end of the season. However, with Paris Saint-Germain's recent interest, could that potentially scupper the deal? At Paris Saint-Germain right now, they're looking for a tough tackling, combative midfield player. They have Ander Herrera and Gay, but they're both players over the age of 30. They aren't getting any younger, and it makes sense that Paris Saint-Germain want to prepare for the future. Now, this isn't the first time that Paris Saint-Germain have made contact with Bakayoko and his reps. In January, they first made their inquiries to potentially sign the player, and also we can't forget that when Bakayoko signed for AC Milan on loan, AC Milan's current sporting director was Leonardo. Leonardo is now at Paris Saint-Germain, and it's believed that both Baka and Leonardo do have a very good professional relationship. Now, this season for Monaco, Baka has rebuilt his reputation, so it only makes sense that Paris Saint-Germain, a league-owned team, would prefer to sign a player that they really know. Now, do we give Bakayoko another opportunity to potentially win a spot in our team for next season? I don't think so, and you know what? It's something that I've consistently said about the player since the day we first signed him, and that's that I knew that he wouldn't suit how we play. Bakayoko is a defensive midfield player at heart, a ball-winning midfield player. He's going to close the spaces, he's going to use his physicality to win the ball, and he's going to be very good defensively. However, if you want your midfield player to help with your build-up play, if you want your midfield player to play those passes between the lines, if you want that press resistance from deep to help progress the ball from your centre-backs, then Bakayoko just isn't your player. That doesn't mean that he's bad. Different players suit different roles, and that's just how football works. With the emergence of your Billy Gilmours, now that Kovacic has shown that he is potentially a top-class player as well, and with Ruben about to return from injury, I think we have better options than Bakayoko, so for me, it just makes the utmost sense to sell the player, reinvest the money in his sale, and use that to fund other transfer targets. Now, in that sense, Bakayoko hasn't really cost us any money. When you combine his potential transfer fee with his loan wages being subsidized and the loan fees on top of that, then we're most likely going to earn a profit from the player. So this is great business, and this whole business strategy that Marina came up with is genius. So obviously, good luck to Bakayoko. He is a good player, he just doesn't suit how we play. And boys, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up now and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Remember to comment, like and subscribe. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. Tonight there is going to be a Q&A live stream, so I'm going to announce the times on my community page and on Twitter sometime this evening. So I'll see you guys then. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV, signing out.